This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your weekly blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching here. I'm your auto repair shop coach. My goal is to help you, the independent auto repair shop owner, make your dreams come true. We do that by opening your mind to things you didn't know, and by getting you out from under your business and putting you in charge of your future as well as your family's future. My goal is for you to stop having a hobby and start having a business you can be proud of and take time away from. First and foremost, I want to thank AutoLeap. Without their continued support, this podcast would not be available free to you. If you're in the market for a great shop management system, please see the show notes for the demo link. As you get into today's episode, you may know someone in your network who could benefit from the topic. So please take time to share personally or through your social network. As always, if you have an idea for a show topic or want to talk, feel free to get with me, Chris at AutoFixSOS.com. During today's episode, number 104, the crew from Shop Marketing Pros and I talk about what's a chicken flicker, behind the scenes dirt on Kim and Brian, what's the best part of your workday, what's the difference between a successful client and one that isn't, what would your advice be for a shop starting out that isn't able to hire someone like Shop Marketing Pros, how cute is Dutton actually, and what's the over-under on the alligator, getting to him, favorite cartoon character, what did you want to be when you grew up, and finally, what book are you reading now, if any, if not, what podcast are you listening to? I have caught up with JR, Hallie, and Michelle from Shop Marketing Pros. Sorry, I did that. And this is the hostile takeover of Shop Marketing Pros at Vision2023. And you're in the room here with me. Brian and Kim decided not to join us. And so this is their punishment for that, right? So this is what we're going to do. First of all, Michelle.
Yes.
Explain yourself with the chicken flickers.
Okay. So there's this thing called quality assurance, right? So I will let JR, get more into why we have our chicken flickers here at Vision. But I was simply testing it out yesterday. I was testing out the aim, and there happened to be a young man who's like a security guard standing a little bit down.
So did he have a gun?
No, but he had keys.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I put the chicken flicker on my finger. I pulled it back to see how far it could go, and it happened to land on top of his head.
How did he take that?
He looked around, but I don't really know at first because I just laid down on the ground to play dead. Like, it wasn't me. It could be Haley or JR.
Behind me.
See, you're supposed to just turn and point to the both of them and be like,
My first instinct was to play dead. I don't know why.
Play dead.
Play possum.
Play possum.
Right,
Yeah.
It might be a Louisiana thing.
It could be. So now I think the challenge is you have to round that up to 5. So you have to hit 4 more people in the head with the chicken flicker before you can leave.
Chris, do you know me?
I do know you. That's why I threw the gauntlet down.
What have you done,
Chris? Yeah, there we go.
Just about everyone we've passed now. She's like, should I try to hit him?
Yeah.
What about him? I'm like, Michelle.
It's quality assurance. I want to make sure that we deliver what we promise.
Quality assurance,
Yes.
right. So, but also I've been texting Brian and Kim back a little bit, and
great.
apparently your chicken flickers and ninjas have gone out and stories are getting back to them.
Yeah.
And we're afraid that Sherry's going to send them a cleaning bill after it's all over with for all the chicken flickers on the artwork and everything around the
that
facility.
was JR.
So I was going to say that has nothing to do with me.
So do you notice a theme here? Like, first it was Michelle, then it was JR.
But Chris, what did JR?
None from you, Hallie. I
None
mean,
from
wonderful.
me. I was sitting there working nicely. I'm trying to continue to go to conferences.
See, this is what we deal up in stand up and at work all the time with Haley.
So
I'm the good child.
that's what the devil says, right? In the group. That's the one.
Goodness.
Pew, pew.
No, I'm the good child. So do you want to talk about quality assurance, JR?
Yeah, I'm just reeling in the justification that Michelle just spouted out how brilliantly about how she shot a dude in the head. Right? Who was standing there minding his own business. That's great. Yeah, what do you mean? Like as a greater theme or just
yeah, like this was part of there's a reason why you brought the chicken flickers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and we're talking today. We're sponsoring the owner's lunch. And of course, I've been laying there thinking about what I'm going to say. And we're actually going to shoot stuff at the crowd, but I won't get too much into that. But
again, hence the overarching, like we're shooting at people.
It is a theme.
Yeah, it is, right?
So
we're slingshotting.
Right.
Slingshotting.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, so that is what they are. I mean, we call them chicken flickers now is the term we've called them, but they're finger slingshots. And the way it came about is that, so Brian and Kim and I, we do quarterly leadership meeting session. So Chris, we do Rocket Fuel, that whole traction thing, the Gino Wickman book, and we have an implementer that we meet with. And in our annual planning session in December, one of the things he threw at us was, do you want to establish a theme for the coming year, for 2023? And as marketers, we obviously are always planning, doing all sorts of stuff. But that is actually, to have someone ask us that, to come up with a single word or a phrase or something to pull it all together was a really cool exercise. So we sat there talking it out and just, where we've come from and where we're headed. So as a marketing company, the clients we have now, and I've been talking about it since we've been here, the just seeing our own clients and they're amazing, amazing shop owners. I know everybody says that about their people, but these are truly the best shops in the industry, and we're really proud of that. So our growth, our reputation has grown, and we feel, if you were driving in a race, think Talladega Nights, you're around a bunch of other cars and stuff, but sooner or later you start to pull away from the pack. And it's the same thing. I get to talk to shop owners and stuff all the time, and we work with them very closely. And same thing, they're just trying to separate themselves from the pack. It's this race, but a lot of these people are really doing some amazing things. So I think it was Brian that says, man, shake and bake, baby. It's
shake and bake,
baby. There we go.
It's like we're slingshotting.
Now you see us,
there
now
it
you
is. That's our word, slingshot. So rounding third in my very long story here, the chicken, the goofiest thing that Michelle is shooting people in the head with, has a much deeper reason behind it. We're slingshot.
So for the greater good, Michelle.
It is for the greater good.
So now I think you need chicken hats, and maybe you need to launch chickens, like the big rubber chickens into the crowd instead
the ones
of t-shirts.
that you squeeze and make that long drawn out
We tried
noise.
to get a chicken suit. That was a last minute idea.
I would do a chicken suit. Find one in a double extra large, and I'll do a chicken suit.
Well, we also, again, to tie all of this goofiness back to some serious themes, we have very strong core values, and happiness being one of them.
Yeah.
But I think we might can go too far into happiness and just turn into goofiness if we're prancing around in chicken suits.
Depending who's together.
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
I think it's all memorable.
So, Hallie, I've got a question for you.
Go for it.
I've never met Dutton in person, but how cute is Dutton?
Oh my gosh, he is so cute, and he gets bigger every day, and he has the most soft baby angel skin ears of life.
And the paws.
His paws are so big, so that's how you know he's just going to keep growing. But he's really freaking cute, and he's really wild.
And not to take anything away from Lindy, but Dutton, I don't know if you saw it. Brian or Kim posted a picture of Dutton laid out on the couch, and I replied, "Paint me like one of your French girls, Jack," because it's just laid out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But on a side note, I'm a little concerned about the alligator in the pond. Do we have an over-under on when the alligator eats Dutton, or is Brian going to remove the alligator, or what's going on?
Labs are water dogs.
Yeah, and that alligator started as
it's
a little
getting a little big.
baby
I saw a
alligator.
picture of it
It
this
It was
week.
a baby last year.
Yeah. And actually, we had a client of ours ask us last night, okay, you guys are from Louisiana. How hard is it to avoid getting eaten by alligators? Mm-hmm. So I feel like we're on the path to maybe find out ourselves every time we go to the office at Kim and Brian's.
We're going to go to
safe for work.
No, we're going to go to a staff meeting someday, and Brian's going to be grilling sausage. He's like, "Anybody want alligator sausage?" And he's gonna
some alligator
handle it.
Well, I think the little alligator's gone from this big and eating frogs to yellow labs. I'm scared.
7 feet.
Brian's gonna tame it and turn it into his pet, and we're gonna show up at the office, and it's gonna be on a leash.
We're gonna feed it
be
marshmallows and stuff.
Yeah. So it could go either way: sausage or a pet.
That'll be our 2024.
There we go.
Gator.
Yeah.
Gator. So I like to ask some funny questions or some questions. We've already gotten going and everything else, but I still like to know these things. And so I'm going to ask everybody the same questions here. So Michelle, what's your favorite cartoon character?
Okay, the first one that came to mind was Wile E. Coyote.
Wile E. Coyote.
That suits.
Okay.
That's why I was hesitant to say it.
Hallie.
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck. Why Donald Duck?
My mom does a really great Donald Duck voice, and I just remember that from my childhood.
Interesting. All right, JR.
Danger Mouse?
Danger Mouse.
Does anybody remember that one?
I do. I'm old enough to remember.
I'm picturing him and...
Hallie and Tracy have no idea who Danger Mouse is.
Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not alone. At least Tracy doesn't know.
So, okay, we're going to go back. JR, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I asked my dad that question the other day because I don't remember, and he told me he remembered me wanting to be a pilot, but I don't remember that. I remember wanting to have adventures, so I'll just say adventurer.
And I think Shop Marketing Pro is quite the adventure, so we'll see. Maybe not on the far end, but we'll see.
Because he gets to work with us.
That's right. That's his adventure.
It's definitely an adventure.
Yeah.
So here I've got something for you that just came to mind. We need to come up with some sort of a marketing plan for JR, for Shop Marketing Pros, as Louisiana JR instead of Indiana Jones. And then whatever with the hat and the whip. And
well, I was
cracking the whip.
picturing him in like a yodeler's suit with the yodeler hat.
Even better.
Climbing a mountain.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Like his lederhosen.
Well, speaking of adventures and mountains, we said we were going to put this on the podcast. So Brian and Kim heard it and couldn't go back on it. And by where, I mean, we just came up with this last night. We're trying to take an SMP retreat.
RV retreat.
To Durango, Colorado.
Oh, nice. I know some very nice people there that could be involved in that.
So Brian and Kim, when you listen to this.
And we'd all love to ride in the same RV.
All of us.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's some we've got to draw the line somewhere. Right.
JR is horrified right now.
JR's like, I'll drive my own car.
There you go. Hey, the airport's really nice. I can be at the airport and pick you up, JR.
Thank you.
So, Hallie, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think I wanted to be a lawyer for a really long time.
Okay.
And then I got to college and I was like, maybe I don't want to go to school for that long. And then I still went to school for that long. But I like what I do now. So
there you go. That's great, right? Okay. And you, I can only imagine what this is going to be, by the way.
So I had a side note on my mom's refrigerator that said that I was going to move to California as soon as I turned 18 to open up a coffee shop. She made me...
You went the opposite way.
I know, I did. But I moved to Florida and then, here I am. But I also wanted to be a dancer and like a hip hop dancer. And in particular, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Jabberwockies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If I could do anything and not fail, I want to be a Jabberwocky.
That's awesome.
They are amazing.
There
They
we
are
go.
super cool.
Okay. That is completely...
You stumped the host.
Like,
all right, not expected.
Adventurer, pilot, lawyer,
Coffee shop owner
Jabberwocky.
slash
No,
Jabberwocky.
I would have never thought that in a million years. So, okay, so I'm going to come back around the way. What book are you reading now, if any, or do you listen to podcasts? And if so, what are you listening to?
Yes. Okay. So the book that I do read most of is like I do daily devotionals in my Bible and stuff like that. I've been reading some devotionals, like I said, but podcasts that I've been listening to, I listen to Lucas, of course, and also anything that Kim shares.
Yeah.
So she shares a lot of good podcasts with us.
Okay, so not the weekly blitz. So, okay. So
Not
if the other two of you are taking notes, there might be a good answer for this. Michelle, you were like, I don't know.
Is it my turn?
Doghouse. Yes.
I know the answer. I regularly listen to
Here comes the good child.
listen to the Remarkable Results radio podcast and Chris Cotton's Weekly Blitz. And I mean,
And what's ours called?
I watch the reels from the Auto Repair Shop Marketing
Sure you
podcast.
do.
Because they're so funny. Kim's reels are so funny.
Yeah, her blooper reels are
Her
funny.
blooper reels.
So any books or anything that, like, seriously, like, be serious.
Yeah. So I'm about to make myself sound like a really basic white girl because I kind of am. But I am currently reading Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I'm on the Colleen Hoover train because of TikTok.
TikTok made you do it.
TikTok made me do it.
Yeah.
Okay, JR?
Is there anything I should mention that wasn't?
No, I think it's good. We got all the plugs in
got
there,
it.
so we're good now.
Haley,
You're welcome, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Michelle
know.
ruined it. Haley saved it, so you're good.
dumpster fire over here.
I devour books. So the last one I read was The Gap in the Gain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I really enjoyed, which Brian actually told me to read because I was, I guess, whining. He said, stop living in the gap. That was a really great book. I like that one.
What's the premise of that?
Great book for you, Chris. I mean, it's probably something, it's one of those concepts that everybody knows, but entrepreneurs in particular have a tendency to keep moving the goalpost on themselves. And I think this fits right into shop owners and anybody who's a high achiever where, I'll be happy when, or I'll give myself a break when I do this. But then you get to that thing and of course it's empty or you get close to it and you make it harder and harder. And so you're constantly looking towards the future, which we're told is a good thing rather than living in the present and all that kind of stuff. But the idea is like, that's the gap, the space between where you are now and where you want to be. And the gain is rather than looking forward, look backwards, like, hey, look how far I've come. So it's just about being happy.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Which is a
good.
core value of ours.
Right. There you
And
go.
that
Excellent.
also kind of reminds me of like, you move the goalpost and you don't celebrate the present and what's going on in the present. That reminds me of our great news channel in Slack where we,
celebrate our victories.
we
Great
celebrate,
news.
our wins and our victories with our clients or just in our own work, in our own departments. We are always putting great news in there so everybody can know like, hey, this is what we've got going on and this is what we're doing well for this client and also just our teams.
Yeah. when somebody's doing really well.
Excellent. That's good stuff. So I miss out on all that because it's basically just me. But now we have Brent that works with us. And then, of course, Kimberly does so much. But
Brent is cool.
yeah, Brent's a really good shop operator. So, okay, I'm going to start with you again, JR, and come back around. What's the best part of your work day at Shop Marketing Pros?
I'm unique in that I get to talk to a lot of shop owners. I'm kind of the first person they talk to. So I really enjoy talking, or that sounds very arrogant or whatever, but I enjoy communicating with people. I really these guys came down today and I've already made friends with 2 different people from different places. They're not even shop owners. They're just people. And my parents kind of gave me that lesson, it doesn't matter who they are, from a president of a country to the janitor or whatever. So I really enjoy getting to know those shop owners, truly. And I try and approach every conversation if I have a day where I have 4 meetings booked with different shop owners, that's not stressful for me. That's like sweet. I'm getting to get to know 4 new friends.
Well, I love meeting new people too. And just listening to them. And then of course, Carm last night, we were actually here in this room at the camp meeting, and Carm pulls out the Chick-fil-A, everyone has a story, and you've got 4 grown men sitting in a room together crying. And I'm sure if anybody would have walked by, they'd have been like, what is going on in this room?
Because Chick-fil-A is the Lord's chicken.
I got to show you guys that video. I'm going to share it in our chat.
And so if everybody else is out there, just go through, and I think if you Googled Chick-fil-A, everyone has a story, it'll make you rethink some things for sure.
AutoLeap is a cloud-based all-in-one auto repair software that helps to keep complete track of your business, from scheduling appointments to managing technicians to generating invoices. Supercharge your growth with AutoLeap. Customers that fully adopt AutoLeap see the following benefits in their first year: 30% revenue growth, with top customers seeing over 100% growth, 75% decrease in no-shows, allowing you to service more customers, 3 times increase in positive Google reviews, leading to stronger online presence, 50% time saved on administrative tasks, driving increase in operational efficiency. Do it all with AutoLeap. Key features and functions include estimates, invoices, scheduling, Google reviews, inspections, communication, QuickBooks, reporting. Get in touch with AutoLeap to see how you can transform your auto repair shop. For a limited time, if you schedule a demo, sign up with AutoLeap and they will waive the $250 implementation fee.
Hallie, what's your favorite part of the day?
So I'm the digital advertising director. So I am all Facebook and Google ads. And it's just really, really satisfying to see the leads and conversions that shop owners get from their Google ads, because those leads and conversions are turning into appointment bookings and into revenue and profit for the shop owner. So it's just really satisfying to see them spend money to get great results and make money and become bigger and more successful. So I love that.
So you do all the Facebook and Google ads, but I'm still with Caroline. Will Caroline not let you have me, or?
Exactly.
You're on a good run.
Yeah.
There we go. Good.
I was actually talking to
Good job, Caroline.
Your wife, Kimberly, about this last night. I just took back Caroline's ads clients, but we agreed that she would keep you because your social media and your
synergy is working really well
hand
together.
in hand, and you're on a good roll with Caroline right now. So we didn't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
So I just got a note, and I've always messed this up. Haley.
Not Hallie.
I wasn't going to correct you.
No, it's fine. You scored enough points earlier that you're good, but unfortunately, I'll probably screw this up the rest of the time we know each other.
No, it's okay. That's been all my life. We actually got in an Uber last night.
I know we've talked about this before, and you think I'd remember, but no.
No, it's okay.
Squirrel.
It's like my entire life.
Sure. Yeah.
But we got in the Uber last night, and the first thing Michelle told our Uber driver was, call her Hallie. She'll love that. And I told Michelle, I said, joke's on you because I don't care because it's happened my entire life.
Backstory, as we slid in, I was the first one in, and he said Hallie. And I was like, call her that.
Keep calling her that.
Yeah.
Michelle's like, keep doing it. Let's mess with her.
And I think, 53% of shop owners have ADD, ADHD, whatever. So if I was to write you a letter, it would be sometimes in all caps, sometimes in lowercase, caps and lowercase, cursive, printing, correct punctuation, and everything like that. But that's no excuse, right? Haley, I should at some point in my life or your life get this correct. I'm sorry.
Maybe one day I'll just change it.
Maybe so. Yeah, actually, that would work great for me. Can we send you to the DMV or whatever and just have
He's like, actually, yes.
have it
Can you do
spelled
that for me?
correctly?
Thank
Yeah, I would appreciate that. So, Michelle, the best part of your day?
The best part of my day is, so I lead the website and the SEO teams. So I've got 6 people that I work with. And just what's most satisfying to me is when I am able to work our core values synergistically within the team. Like we have, team members that are not all in Louisiana with us, and they've never met our clients, but because of just how I can bring our clients through to them just by the notes that I take, the notes that I give to them, they have the same passion for our clients, for the personalization that we want to bring to their websites, to their SEO, and just to make sure that we're doing all that we can to make our clients as successful as possible, which brings success to our team members, which then brings success to me in the job that I'm doing. So that's really my favorite part.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get a little serious. And
you're going to start with me.
And I'm going to start with you. Yeah, I know. This is just this is the randomness of how it came out.
The cookie crumbled.
Do you have any dirt or funny stories on Kim or Brian or both?
Oh, golly. I mean, snitches end up in ditches. I don't do that.
Well, it doesn't have to be bad. Okay. So
I have to think on that.
It doesn't have to be a bad story. It's just a funny story.
Okay.
Haley,
I thought about this.
You can go first. Sorry.
Okay, so we were kind of talking about this last night. It's not really a story, but it's just like Kim as a person. I love when she calls a last minute meeting and she's like, okay, I'm going to make this quick. And there's nothing
there's no quickness
that's
to
ever
it.
quick about a meeting with Kim.
Yeah.
And she's like, I swear it really is going to be quick. I'm like, no, it's not. But then I think with Brian, we also talked about this last night. This thing has come about where we say, now that we're managing people and we're growing and we're having to have a lot of more uncomfortable or harder conversations that we typically wouldn't be used to having. And so we call it channeling our inner Brian Walker.
Yeah.
Because he is a person that no matter how hard or uncomfortable the conversation is, he knows it's for the greater good of his team, the team member he's talking to, his business as a whole. So he kind of he says what needs to be said and
then he moves on.
And then he moves on and he'll never bring it up again.
Yeah.
So I think
and he's proven that too. Some people say this is done, we'll never bring it up again, but it's legit done.
Yeah. And I think that we've all kind of channeled a little bit of our inner Brian Walker more in the last year. And that's literally what we call it. When I have to have a hard conversation, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring out my Brian Walker.
Definitely, we've hashtagged Kim and Brian, #domestics, because we have our stand-up meetings every morning, and there's usually, they're always in the same room, just about together. So, it's either Kim always has herself unmuted, so Brian tries to come in and talk, and it's this echo, and he's like, Kim, mute yourself, or something like that, and we're all sitting there #domestics, or, it'll just be, and she'll do her faces, so that's pretty funny.
Kim cannot control her face.
Yeah.
So Brian will say something, and
Yeah.
she'll make a face. Brian will say something,
but we're looking at Kim
for the reaction.
And we try to get screenshots and things like that.
Yeah.
But also with Brian, I don't know if you guys have seen Parks and Recreation, Ron Swanson. That is who Brian Walker is. He actually has our last lead graphic designer, Tony, made him a permit that says, I do what I want. And so he not only has one, but two, because he had to tear up one of those permits this year, but he has one in his back pocket. And so he is total Ron Swanson. I mean, he doesn't sit there and drink whiskey on the job, but, it's just, that's funny to me.
That of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, JR, you have any dirt or funny stories?
We're a leadership team of 3 people, so I got to be really careful here. I get kicked out. No, since we're at Vision, every time it comes up, I rag Kim about this because one time she bought our tickets and sent us to St. Louis.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And I discovered
instead of Kansas City.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I discovered it at 10:30 at night, just my last check before I go to bed. And we had to scramble and, spend too much money on correcting the tickets. And every time we go anywhere, they go anywhere, I'm like, Kim, make sure you double check the airport,
Yeah.
But Kim is always behind the scenes. We all know she's got the queen of connection. She's really good at talking to people, but she's an amazing gifter.
I was going to say she is. The stories that came to mind to me about Kim and all of that is more generosity.
Yeah. This morning, I don't even know if you guys have seen it yet, but we use Slack to communicate whatever. I don't think she did this morning. She probably scheduled it, but she had the foresight to do it. Today is National Employee Appreciation Day.
Oh, nice.
And there's a message for all the employees and a video, because we use video a lot.
Yeah.
From
both
her
of them.
and Brian saying, what kind of a place is that to work that they do that, and very frequently?
Well, and it's not like they're sitting around at home with nothing to do, right?
They're out of town.
They're in New York because they couldn't be here.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Queen of Connections thing, I've always heard that, and I understand she knows like a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but she has like national reach. Like almost.
Yeah,
we were
not
in
just Louisiana.
We were in North Carolina, and my Kimberly was like, hey, we're trying to put these gift baskets together of local things in the Raleigh area. And so she goes, we've got most of them full, but she's like, I'm going to message Kim and see if she knows anybody in the area that can point us to something. And she puts us in touch with, I think, Donna, a boutique owner, Swagger in Raleigh, North Carolina, if you're listening to there.
Oh, yeah.
And so we went to the boutique and bought some leather coasters for all the people.
Yeah.
They loved it. It was just like, okay, just absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
So Kim's out on this trip, obviously, and we've been all trying to channel our inner Kim too and be, you know, the queen of connections or the king of connections in her place. And yesterday we were trying to decide, do we go to this event or do we go to this event? And we were making a decision and we were like, Kim would go.
WWKD.
What would Kim do? WWKD. What would the queen of connections do?
I want to ask you each individually, and what I would like is for you to tell me a little bit about, or tell us a little bit about your role at Shop Marketing Pros, and then tell me what's the difference between a successful client and one that isn't from your standpoint. JR, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about my role earlier, so I'll talk about the successful client part because, I'm actually have a foot in each world, the sales part of things, but I'm also the director of operations. So making sure we deliver is a big part of what I do with the rest of the team. And I would say one of the biggest successes, I guess it helps the operations team that I'm also filtering the people we speak to as well. But we've definitely seen trends in shops that have coaches.
Yeah.
That's genuine. That's honestly genuine.
This was not rehearsed, I promise. I just have my notes here, right?
And if you go out to our backdrop right now, this is a new backdrop for us that says we do top tier marketing for top tier shops. And then Brian just wrote it down. Okay, and then it has it below. What does top tier mean? What is the definition there? And for us, when we sound it out and after years now, we realize these shops that they've got their stuff together. They have a good, strong shop culture. We took you, Chris, you and I were talking about that, about, how that attracts the right kinds of techs and they're just, they're gearing themselves up. They're concerned about the right kind of things. For us, those are the people we work really well with because that's what we also do. So we've used the word synergy like 6 times now, but I think that's a big thing we've learned and that helps us be successful.
Excellent. Haley?
I am the digital advertising director, so I handle all the Facebook and Google ads. But I think communicative shop owners set themselves up for success in their marketing. I think a lot of times people hire marketing companies thinking like they're going to take care of this for me and I don't have to be involved. But the truth is, if you want successful, personalized marketing, you have to be the thought leadership in your marketing and you have to guide us. You have to give us the thoughts and the ideas and we'll help you come up with them. And then it's our job to execute them. But being involved is what makes in your marketing is what makes for successful campaigns for shop owners.
Well, and good content has to come from somewhere, and you guys are not in their shop, so it has to come from them and personalized, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
So I am the director of the website and SEO teams, and so my job is to make sure that when we are building websites, that we are on track with. Usually, we can do them within like 2.5 months. And so my job is to make sure that our team is on track with that, getting them everything that they need, but also communicating with the clients to get all of those things and to hit those marks and take care of web edits and things like that. And so doing those in a timely manner and executing them well. And also with the search engine optimization, I work with the clients and our team to strategize. But we have really great team members who do that. And, they have specific clients. And so just to kind of spin off of what makes a successful partnership with our successful shops and successful marketing with them is communication, but also taking that time to go over the things that we're sending them or like really, because I know that they're busy, right? Mm-hmm. But in order for us to make them as successful, their marketing as successful as possible, we really do need those things from them to keep their website on track to launch on the projected time. We do need that little bit of time to just say, hey, I can't do that. I need you to do this for me, or here's all of these things, And so, because sometimes with those shops that we have not found success with, it is, I feel like Jerry Maguire sometimes, like, help me, help you, like, I'm here for you. This is what we need, and just them not just taking that time, so the shops that really are like, hey, and we learn how they communicate best. Like we usually generally communicate through email at first, but if somebody is more of a phone conversationalist, we call them. I have some clients who are on Facebook most of the time. So I work through Facebook Messenger with them because that's easiest for them. And that's how we're going to get what we need in order to help them.
So, okay, I'm going to set a scene for you. Mm-hmm. And I do this too, right? So AutoFix-Auto Shop coaching is not a perfect fit for everybody. There's kind of like a sales level. Just because, we're not cheap, we try to provide a great value, but what we do is not cheap. I think we do a great job at it. You guys do a great job at it. But say a shop comes to you or comes to you, JR, or if you were sitting at a bar or at Vision talking to somebody and they're like, hey, I'm one of only 2 people in my business. I do $300,000 to $400,000 a year. I can't hire you. From what you do for the company, what would be your advice for that person in order to grow so they could come back to you in 6 months or a year and do something with Shop Marketing Pros?
My first thing would be to send them to Google and utilize their Google business listing, Google business profile. That's what it is now, but set that up and utilize it to its full potential. There's so many things that you could do with that. And also you can get, it's a very basic website, but you can at least do that to start out. And then when you have the money and the capacity and you're ready, then we could come and, step in, optimize it, as best as possible if they didn't really know too much about that. But getting their name, address, phone number out there, is the biggest thing for search engine optimization. So
JR and I were talking about it a little bit last night, and I'd forgot the role that it would play in what we do. I'm having a lot of shops that have been switched over from auto repair to auto parts all of a sudden. I think it's the Google robots doing something like that.
Google robots do a lot behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah, the product, they roll out these updates, right? Mm-hmm. And so then all of a sudden we call that Google be Googling. That's what they do. And
GBG.
And so that's part of our job as well, is to go in and check the listings to make sure, because they'll add services. Yep. A huge one that creates a lot of kind of chaos for our shop owners who specialize in AC repair, they'll put HVAC on there. Now they specialize in HVAC repair, but they'll get a lot of calls for home AC units and things like that. So, we've got to really make sure that we pay attention to that. And there's a lot of updates that happen that aren't really spoken about or posted about. Mm-hmm. You have to really search.
You have to research. Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing, my assumption would be that this wouldn't affect it that much because the robots are in control of so much. But JR was talking about all the layoffs Google's had, and apparently they've laid off a lot of their Google My Business people, and then they're moving some of that overseas.
Yep.
They've laid off their support.
There's I'm I can actually tell you all about that right now.
Well, it was hard enough before, but let alone now.
Yeah.
And I've actually been talking to Google support quite a bit. And recently it blew my mind that I couldn't get phone support because I've always been able to get phone support. And phone support went down, and then their support chat hours ended at 12:30 p.m. And so I was like, I'm going to have to wake up at 5 a.m. just to chat Google. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they did recently have a lot of layoffs, and they're moving their support team from India to the Philippines, and Google just be Googling. They do what they want, and
it's Google's world, and we just live in it. We have to adapt to it. I call it flex and flow. Our team, you got to flex and flow with Google.
Yep.
Part of the thing that I've been into the last week or so is ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we got into it a little bit last week at the 20 group meeting I was in. But while Kimberly was driving the van, I was in the back seat playing around with it. And I just typed in job description for automotive technician. Boom, it wrote it. I went in and did write me an ad, a technician ad, and it wrote it. Mm-hmm. But then I found a widget or an extension for Google Slides and an article for it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try this. So you can add the extension to Google Slides. You can put your API key from ChatGPT and put in a title and your subject, and it'll do a presentation for you.
Wow.
ChatGPT is pretty dope.
I did a 10-slide presentation in under 30 seconds on ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then so part of the class I did yesterday, I was like, guys, I know this is about what I'm talking about, but the other thing is staying on top of technology and making sure you're doing it. So I did it live in front of the group, wrote an ad, did that, and then typed in a P704 code or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it gave me a wonderful description of what that code is. Mm-hmm. And you could just copy and paste that and send it to the customer, out with some. My thing is though, I think their robots are going to get a hold of this on their version of whatever that is, and they're going to be like, "Oh, we're better than ChatGPT." And
Well, they have
hold that down.
Bard. It's called Bard.
Yeah, Bard. That's it. Yeah.
I like that you guys are talking about this because I know your original question was like, what can a shop owner do? And if someone was
and we'll
here,
get back to Haley in a minute.
well,
I have a pretty good answer.
What about me, Bob?
a shop owner hears this like, oh gosh, techno speak, and I've already got to know enough about fixing a car and all this stuff. But the theme is that like, it doesn't matter. We could have this conversation in a year. It'll be something different, whatever. I think one of the things that marketing companies even bring to the table is nimbleness, if that's a word.
Right. Yeah.
And we, back to our core values, we talk about them a lot, but expansion is one of them. And that's like, it's our job. Like we might complain a little bit about it, trying to get someone on the phone and stuff. And, feeding the beast is what I call the Google thing. Facebook's a whole nother one.
Yes.
The team's constantly talking about that, but that's our job, is to stay up with it. And we actually enjoy it. Back to, you asked us about what I wanted to be in adventure. I like change in a weird way, but also hate it at the same time, as Brian and Kim
and it's
would
a
say.
challenge.
So
too.
we like to be
challenges
challenged.
us.
You're a digital adventurer.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Well,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yodeling.
Oh, yodeling.
Yodeling.
Nice.
Oh, watch out, I'm going to start yodeling.
So, okay, I want to come back
That is
to you.
not surprising.
Back to you, Haley. Go ahead. And so, again, the original question is, what would your advice be for a shop starting out that isn't able to hire someone like Shop Marketing Pros?
So I know this information from JR, actually from his sales calls. But, if you want cars in your bays, like digital advertising is the place to start. And you don't have to be a digital advertising director to run your own Google ad campaign. They have lots of help articles. You cannot get support on the phone, but they do have support articles.
They do.
Tons and tons of resources on support.google.com to help you build a successful Google campaign and, smart campaign. Google has a smart campaign where it'll basically build the ad for you. But as far as like money goes, even if you don't have the money to throw into Google to get more cars in your base, Facebook is a really great place to start for brand awareness too. It's way lower cost and it gets your name out there in front of people in your community. And then also just getting involved in your community, becoming a part of, your chamber of commerce and stuff like that. I think networking, that's what Kim would say. And then, getting cars in your bays to make more money and then eventually grow to hire a company like us. I think that's a good place to start.
I know this has been like a hot topic for you guys because I know Kim did something on it. And then it showed up in your Facebook group over the weekend or last week, I think, about people being in Pennsylvania and doing an ad or a boosted post and it showing up in New York City or something.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that for just a second?
Yeah, I think so. If you are doing ads yourself, the most important things to pay attention to is where you're targeting your ads to. We get tagged, or Kim and Shop Marketing Pros, our Facebook gets tagged all the time in, ads, like you said, of a shop in Pennsylvania and their ad is showing to someone in California.
To add to that, it's not ads that we made.
No.
No.
Like, hey, look,
They're tagging us.
They're tagging us for help. Yeah, not ads we make. So I think that is the number one thing to pay attention to, because if you're not targeting the right audience, you're literally wasting your money
and time.
And time. And every click on Google or on Facebook costs you money. And so I think making sure you're hitting the right audience, and a great place to start is, downloading your customer list from your shop CRM system or your shop software. That's one of our favorite techniques to use because you're hitting those customers and customers that are similar to them. But you also have to pay attention to your geo targeting. Target around your shop, not a whole other state. That would be my number one advice for anyone doing ads themselves.
Good. Thanks for that. JR, what advice would you give?
Yeah, this is basically what the conversations I have all the time. And ironically, a lot of people who reach out to us, I would say 9 out of 10 shops are already doing marketing of some sort. We thought when, years ago when we started this, that we were going to get a lot of shops that have never marketed, and I'd be having conversations all the time about explaining what marketing is and why they should be doing it. But especially the people here at a place like Vision, they're very savvy and they're doing it. And now they're at the point like, I want to do it better than what I'm doing. Haley's right. I mean, ads are the quickest and most predictable and trackable way for, ROI on getting people in the shop, but they're so dang expensive. And I'm just not a big fan of spending. You can have a budget that you can do so much with that ad budget. If don't become over reliant. Most 3 out of 4 shops are going to hire us to do ads. That's the way it is. But if you don't have the money to throw at Google and get the magic bullet, so to speak, it's that, I call it handshake marketing. That stuff that's been the same for years. Michelle's spot on with Google. That Google My Business listing is so simple, but so powerful. It's the heart of every local SEO. So just verifying it and putting the right hours in. I baffled by oh yeah, that's wrong, or my map marker's wrong. I've been having those conversations for a decade.
The wrong phone
and
numbers,
it's free. I mean, it's just go in there and do it. We've made it our mission to educate. I mean, that's what we do. That's been the key to our success. We have all sorts of help articles now and blog posts that I send to shop owners on the regular.
And that's on your website, aren't they?
Yeah. Our website is like, people have asked me before, do you do marketing for people or are you just giving free advice? We want to help whatever we can. And that's how I've based I'm not much of a salesman as far as a classically trained salesman goes. I truly want to help them. And if they become a client, great. If they don't, I'm still going to give them the answer.
Right.
You know, and so like opening up a new shop, that's a classic scenario. Or I just bought my first shop. What do I do? Thankfully, we've got huge blog articles. I'll send those to people and it has all sorts of stuff on there. But
I remember back in the day when it was called AdWords, right? I went through the whole certification process, got certified, which I'm assuming they still have a path for that now. And you can learn a lot, but it's like having a green belt in karate. You know just enough at that point to get your ass kicked. And it's really, really hard to go. So if you can't afford to do it, go out, learn about it as much as you can, go to the blog post, do it. And then once you grow enough, hire somebody to take over that task force. Because there's so many secrets, just like being able to contact a person, like a real live person at Google. That's a secret that they hold dear. Like you can't go and find a number on anywhere that I know of to actually get to somebody.
Well, funny story. Kim made the mistake one time of posting that she was on the phone with Facebook.
Oh.
And then just about every business owner in our small town of Hammond hit her up and asked, how do you get in touch with Facebook? I want their number.
No. No, sorry. You don't get that information.
Yeah.
And we kind of scalp, like anytime we talk to somebody from Google, their name, their number, and we file it away.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's anything, even if that's not their department, hey, we're going to call this person, connect us to the right person.
Yep.
I wish we'd be talking about this because this total Big Brother stuff's going to happen right now.
Google's not going to talk to us anymore.
Right. The robots are going to take over. And go. Well, I know, Michelle, even we've been working on my Google My Business site for 8 months now and still don't have it straightened out. And I think we finally just deleted it. And
well, we've recreated it though. And we had to do, we've recreated it and it's on the road, the right road right now.
Okay.
But that just ties into the paperwork matching to be able to get it verified because Google, they're very serious about, your paperwork matching what your title is, and things like that. And so that was a huge issue that we were finding.
Well, the problem for me is I work remotely, so I don't have a business address where you can ring the doorbell and come in and see me.
Right.
And they want a utility bill and whatever. And I'm like,
they do.
You mean
none
you
of
don't
that
want people
exists.
dropping by your house in Durango, Colorado? Because that's what we were going to do.
And they do say that you can easily create a listing without that, but to get it verified
is a whole nother level.
That's what's really, but the thing about our team is that we don't give up. We continue to strategize, re-strategize, work with Google, stick with it. I remember when I first came on in 2020, one of our clients that we had, her listing had her home address and her cell phone on it. And then because that's how they started out. And then they had a brick and mortar and it took forever to get her listing verified. And then finally one day it just happened because we were persistent with it. I stuck with it. I kept reaching out to Google. I kept doing what we could and it finally happened. So
their core value,
Chris,
dedication.
Chris, hold on. It'll be
I'm
out
ready.
there.
It's fine. I'm not worried about it. It's like a fight, right? Yeah. Well, so the interesting thing is like in the last week, I got a phone call. I answered the phone call and it's somebody that says, and I'm sure this has happened to other people. It's like, we work with Google. And I'm like, oh, you work with Google, not for Google. And the guy's like, oh yeah, we're going to help you get verified. And I ripped him for about 15 minutes. I'm like, this is not a conversation you want to have, buddy. I go, did you look up my account before you called me and learn everything? You would know that it's not verified. It can't be verified. Everything else.
Yeah.
If you can verify me, I will continue this conversation. But if you don't, and finally he's like, yeah, I can't help you. And just kind of like slunk out of the room. I'm like, that's what I thought. You did not pick the right day to talk to me.
I already have the pros on it. Don't worry.
Right. No, so I know that's fine. So Michelle, I'm going to kind of wrap this up. I know you guys got things to do. Any final thoughts or anything about Vision, about Shop Marketing Pros, anything you want to say to conclude?
Well, Vision is just really fun to actually be here in person, first of all, because I've worked on the Vision website. We actually, put out their new website for the 2023 Vision Expo and high tech training and expo. And so that was just really a pleasure. And, to be able to put faces to the names, connect with people in person rather than just Zoom. But I'm just really truly, truly grateful to be a part of such an amazing team at Shop Marketing Pros. From the top to the bottom, like Kim and Brian are completely just so generous. They truly care about us. They truly care about what they're doing. JR, the same, and I rag him all the time, but he's got a seat next to Jesus with what he puts up with all of us, and I just love him to death as well. And they never ask us to do anything that they wouldn't do. Yep. And they always challenge us, but in such a positive way. Even when we make mistakes, working with websites, I have made some mistakes, I call it, that give me absolute bubble guts. I have deleted things. I have taken things down. I've been I used to panic. I used to cry, cause when they hired me on in 2020 as Brian's assistant. And so where I've been able to be promoted and grow, that.
So I want to ask that too. Do you guys have employee numbers? Who's been with them the longest? JR. Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Well, Kim likes to claim that she's an employee, but that's not true.
So Kit, JR, and then I came on June of 2020, and then Haley.
I came on right after Michelle. Yeah. Also in 2020.
Yeah. And so I didn't really know anything besides my life experience. And so Brian taught me a lot, but he also gave me a lot of freedom. I love to be challenged, even if I'm in tears, but I've learned and I've come out of it to where if I do make a mistake, I understand that just by their leadership alone, to take accountability and responsibility for it. What are we going to learn from it? And how does this make us better? And so that has really allowed me to, first of all, I've learned to slow down and check a lot of things over, be more detail oriented, things like that. But to know that if we make a mistake, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're going to learn from it, grow from it, and move on. And so I'm just really thankful to be a part of the team.
Well, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Even though I've been a little rough on you, it's all right. So, all right, Haley, any last words or last thoughts?
I'm just excited to be at Vision again. This is my second time. Last year, I was here teaching with Kim. That was a big jump for me. But just to kind of echo what Michelle said, that first year at Vision last year teaching, it was a big jump, but it was a huge opportunity that Kim and Brian presented me with. And I was happy to, rise to the challenge, and it went well. And now our whole team is here when they can't be. And I think that says a lot about them and our team, that they can trust to send us here. We might get kicked out with the chicken flickers. We might not be invited back, but at least we're here this year.
Made it to day 2, right? So
yes. Yeah. So we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes. But
happiness is a core value.
A core value.
Did I make you laugh?
You did. I don't think you made the guy you hit laugh.
Yeah. Petty, what do they call it? Assault. It's not a core value.
But
we might need to get bail money from Michelle before this weekend's over.
That's a given. I think Kim and Brian have bail money.
Right.
Have it set aside for you.
Yeah, I think that just says a lot about them and our team, that they trust us to be here and represent our company and them in their place. And then also just for our shop owners, I love being here and meeting our clients because we always talk to them on Zoom and email, and being able to really get to know them in person and put a name to or a face to the name has been really great. And then also potential clients and connections we make here is really good to expand our network.
For somebody that's hearing from Shop Marketing Pros for the first time, I can't imagine that's anybody, but there's probably people out there that listen to the podcast that don't. How can people find Shop Marketing Pros, or how do they get involved, like the Facebook group and things like that?
Yeah, so you can find us on social media, Shop Marketing Pros on Instagram and Facebook. We have a private Facebook group that you can join that is basically like a hub of information for shop owners. We share ideas and ask questions. It's a place for shop owners to just connect and talk with each other and answer questions and stuff like that. That is the Auto Repair Mastermind group on Facebook. You can request to join and we will accept you.
You can go to our website.
So you'll accept everybody that...
We'll accept the shop owners.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then, our website, of course, shopmarketingpros.com. And then JR was talking, we have so many resources on our blogs page, and that's just shopmarketingpros.com/blog and the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast.
Excellent. Thank you, Haley.
I
good plug, huh?
There we
I
go.
would like to
Good plug.
pause for a second, and you guys can't see us listening, whatever, but Michelle and I are almost the same age, right? We're in our 40s. I'm not going to say where we are, but we're there. Haley is almost half our age, and she's by far the most mature one of the group. Very impressive.
Facts.
That's my parting thought right there.
There we go. Anything else, JR, or is that it?
No, this is my fourth Vision, I believe. And for me, it's a very reflective time. I just celebrated 8 years with Shop Marketing Pros, which is a pretty long time. And back to that adventure thing you asked, I've worked at a lot of places, had a lot of different, adventures and stuff like that. So
JR has worked for Google.
Yes.
Really?
holding my tongue
Is
here
that
about this.
pre-robot or?
I describe Google, and not to go too far into detail about it, it's like working for the most poorly organized mom and pop shop. I don't know how they
make
so
it.
much money.
Yep.
But at the same time, great stuff. No. But yeah, no, when I come here, the first time I came, I was terrified. I'd never been to a trade show with anything ever. So yeah, Vision is a reflective time for me, like just being part of the company, but also this is really where we kind of launched our company. Our first big announcement of like, hey, we're focusing in on auto repair and stuff, and Brian and Kim, reestablishing themselves and this kind of stuff. So anytime I come here, it's like a time for me to pause and reflect. I'm super grateful to have Haley and Michelle with me. It's Brian and Kim and I, but they're off teaching or rubbing elbows or whatever. So I end up in the booth by myself a lot, and it can be overwhelming. So I'm grateful to have them here with me, but just always to come. And every time I come, there's more people that I know. And I know I've talked to lots and lots of shop owners. They come to these things sometimes to just to get out of the shop, right? Just to have some time off. But also there's amazing education stuff here. Mm-hmm. So touching base with them and seeing what's influencing them, and I back to just having conversation stuff. I know it's step 10,000 miles up and just look at life and stuff, and very grateful to be part of it all.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what I just took away from JR's answer?
What's that?
That he likes hanging out with me and Michelle.
I know. I was kind
Can we
of
edit
shocked.
that out of the
That's what I got
low-key.
from that.
Yeah.
Because
He
I
said
was
he's
quite
grateful to have us
confused
in the
when he
booth.
said that.
I think the reason why is because he's the holder of the bail money from Brian and Kim.
Probably.
They gave him like $1,000 cash.
He's got
and
the
was
company
like,
card.
He's got the company
But
card.
listen,
talking about
if
this.
we ever got put in jail, like it would be because of JR and I,
would
and
be the
he
one
would be
bailing.
bailing us out.
We talked about this
We did
getting
when
on the
we were
plane.
getting on the plane.
We
She would be
absolutely
the
talked
one
about
who would
this.
snitch on us. We would be in jail.
I'd be like, it wasn't me.
yeah.
But then I'd bail y'all
JR
out.
had said something like, I should do this. And I was like, do it. I dare you.
Yeah, he wanted to play with the controls getting on the plane. He's like, it's so hard for me not to play with that. And I'm like, is it?
You're talking about like the little ramp control?
Yes,
to put the
they're
thing out?
right there. And it's
Yeah.
like, I can't believe this has got to be a thing. Like, and it
it-
looks like a toy.
And in my head, I'm like, we're standing on the ramp and you want to play with it.
And I'm like, do
then, yeah, Michelle's like, do it. I'm like, all right, y'all do that. I'll get y'all out of airport security later.
The guy behind us is like getting
Please
nervous
don't
and
do
backing
it.
away. Like, oh,
He's
God.
like, can I get on the plane first
Yeah,
before
yeah.
you
Let me
guys
off
mess
the
this
ramp.
up or whatever? Okay, so thanks, guys. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thanks for
I
having
think
us.
I took it extremely easy on you
Yeah,
guys.
wasn't hostile
It
at
was
all.
fun getting to know you guys again and seeing you in person. So enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you at the next show.
We'll see you in
Sounds
Durango
good.
Yeah, we'll
soon.
See you
Yes.
in Durango. So I'm
you
for
on
it.
the slopes.
Make sure that they put that on our schedule, because as much as we love Durango, we spend
You're
more
never
time
there.
gone. Right?
Right,
Yeah, I know.
right.
Right.
This has been Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching, reminding you it never always gets worse, but sometimes it has to get worse to get better. Remember, don't stop working today because tomorrow needs you. Please feel free to reach out to me, Chris at AutoFixSOS.com, or give me a call at 940-400-1008. Have a great day, everybody, and remember to rise and grind.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarket.